All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Week 3 NA show match, first show match of the week, and I'm here watching the game Meteor versus Alureon with Companion to be, and we are getting right into pick and ban. So, Comp, how are you feeling about this pick ban so far? Looking at it, we can see it on Pro Draft. We do pick ban ahead of time, so if you don't know champion, it doesn't affect the play. Anything you're interested in so far? Without too many spoilers.
Without too many spoilers, I very much like the Ornn ban, like the Malphite ban, because they are two top laners that just seem to have a lot of impact in team fights, no matter how far they are behind. So I definitely like those two bans. And, you know, Malphite, press R, win. Ornn is press R. You have to press R a second time, so I guess he's a little bit harder, but he's still very impactful.
Yeah. 2 R's is double the button presses, so that is quite the skill raise for a champion. Maokai, however, one single R button press, pretty simple champion to play, and I mean that is something we should probably touch on. The skill difference in these top laners, Maokai versus Lissandra. Maokai seems a lot more simple and easy to execute on.
Yeah, definitely. Maokai is, like you said, 1R, you're gonna have a good time. Lissandra does require a little bit of setting up to think about. So I am excited to see how she does, but at the same time, there's a reason why we haven't seen her too much recently.
Yeah.
One thing I do really like from the side of Team Meteor is the Xin Zhao, just because he is pretty darn annoying right now. Like, he seems like he's one of those junglers that gets in, causes a lot of trouble, deals a ton of damage, and somehow manages to get out even when he goes in 1v5. But, we have the Shyvana on the side of Team Eon as well, and I feel like it's almost the same thing from her. Obviously, she's going to be a little bit tankier, but I do really like the pickups from both.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Xin Zhao too is into the triple range composition that Alureon is running, his ultimate can negate a lot of that damage, and it forces them to get into melee range of that Xin Zhao, which is really nice because that means that Caitlyn can't be using that long range to her advantage. Ahri can't just be poking him out. Lissandra has to use that E to get in there to deal damage to him. And so that triple range comp that he's against really makes that ultimate on that Xin Zhao very valuable.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I am a little bit concerned about from the red side team is that they only really have one tank. Lissandra, obviously, she isn't really tanky. Shyvana is going to be pretty huge, but realistically, if anybody gets on that back line, they aren't going to have a tank they just have to run past the big giant dragon. And, she's pretty intimidating, but at the same time, it is only one tank.
Yeah, but with that tank comes all the damage. You see that, the double AP carries in the mid and top lane. And I want to touch on this bot lane a bit too. Caitlyn Morgana is kind of like a stable pick, and I think we see it all the time in Learning 5s, where Morgana hits a binding, and then Caitlyn traps into that.
Yeah, having been a student a couple times, I can safely say that Caitlyn Morgana is easily my favorite lane to play as the Morgana, just because, it's tons of CC. It's fairly safe just because Caitlyn can shoot herself backwards. Morgana has that black shield. I think it's really good because the Morgana pick, pretty much, it's going to negate the Dazzle stun onto one of them in the bot lane. It's going to possibly negate that entire Malzahar ult, depending on how quick Octoberry is on the trigger. I just think it's really, really strong.
Yeah. Something we should touch a little more on, I think, though, is, opting into the extra AP. Ahri Lissandra, a lot of AP damage, and then Shyvana does a decent amount of mixed damage as well. About half AP, half AD.
Mm-hmm.
And so this Maokai, if he gets to itemize a lot of magic resistance, he's going to be able to go Merc Treads into, an Abyssal Mask or maybe Adaptive Helm. He's going to be very hard to kill, especially if Caitlyn doesn't get snowballing.
Mm-hmm. Looking at this mid lane matchup, I can't say I know too much about it. Obviously, the Malzahar ult is going to prevent Ahri from dashing out of there, but how is it before that level 6 mark.
Yeah, so pre-6, Malzahar doesn't really have any kill pressure, realistically, and so that's going to kind of be Ahri's time to shine with that, with the charm that she has. Obviously Shyvana's not a great ganker, but she has hard CC, so it is definitely a gankable lane. Mm-hmm. So it's pre-6, Ahri advantage. Post-6, we got to keep an eye on that Malzahar ulti. That Nether Grasp can definitely mess that Ahri up.
And it looks like both these mid laners did go Ignite, so I'm definitely curious to see if maybe Malzahar is running the Unsealed Spellbook, because I do love seeing a teleport on the Malzahar. I feel like he's an excellent candidate for having that, for being in those side lanes and being a problem. So, I don't know. Just because, you're saying post-6, it's Malzahar, pre-6, it's Ahri. Maybe they're both hoping to get some kills on the respective sides.
Yeah. Something we haven't mentioned a lot is the bot lane on Meteor side. Their early game is considerably weaker than Alureon's, although their mid to late game is considerably stronger with that Taric Radiance. That ultimate being able to prevent anyone on his team from dying means that if Lissandra ults, he can just drop that ulti on his team, and then as soon as Lissandra comes out of that ulti, they can just collapse on her.
Yeah, and you know what? Even though they are a little bit weaker in the early game, like you were saying, Shyvana isn't a fantastic ganker. So I think that the Tristana is just going to be able, if she plays her card smart, she's just going to be able to jump out of anything.
Yeah, and with that, we are going to be loading onto the game. Meteor versus Alureon, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a second. All right, welcome, ladies and or not. Give it a second, guys. Looks like we are having some technical difficulties. Oh, okay, never mind. We are in. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the NA Showmatch. Production's a little whoopsie right now. I'm Lamia and Cat, joined by Companion to be, and there's a level 1 invade going on. Timbo Slice getting extremely low. Just chillax, teams. Timbo Slice going down. First Blood going over to Vacuumin. What is going on? Everything's a fiesta.
Everything is a fiesta. I just went from 0% to being 50 seconds into the game.
Well, the client is bugging out, and the teams are bugging out a little bit. As First Blood for Lissandra, a double Doran's Ring. I'd lean towards the Dark Seal myself personally. I think it's more efficient because the unique passive of the Doran's Ring doesn't stack. The Dark Seal will get a lot of value out of that triple potion. That would just be like an instantly one lane for Lissandra, but it's still extra value. It's still nice to have.
My league is actually super bugging out right now. I may need you to solo cast this early game for a second.
Alright, well...
Sorry about that.
So far, everything looking pretty standard, except for that level 1 invade. I mean, you've got to think Meteor had to be a little more cautious against a Morgana. So, a bit misplayed, but they can recover from that. I don't know if my client is just bugging out, but Malzahar passive looks extremely weird. Today is a very special day in Learning 5's, ladies and gentlemen.
Spectator client is not having a good time right now. I'm hoping I'm actually able to load back into the game.
Yeah. Well, laning's getting underway. So far, everything looking pretty standard. Bit of training in the mid lane. In the top lane, we see a large wave built up for Vacuumin, who, I want to mention, this Lissandra just missed a whole entire wave, only having 6 CS out of a total 12 possible. That's not great. You want to be last shotting as efficiently as possible, and giving away half your CS for free, especially when you have that first blood advantage, meaning that you should have even more pressure, is just kind of unacceptable.
I am still working on loading my way back into the game.
We can just have you watch through the stream and just post-fight analysis as well as
post-fight analysis.
Yeah, that'll work. We'll make do with it. Learning 5s where we wing everything.
That may be what we have to do.
Yeah. We didn't see any real level 2 power spikes in the bot lane from the Morgana Caitlyn, which their combo is very easy to execute on. The Dark Binding into the trap from the Caitlyn is very effective and very easy. It's all reliant on them coordinating, though. They have to be looking at the same time and making sure that they're hitting that. But that can easily chunk someone 50% of their HP, at least.
Well, you know what? Morgana Binding is not a cheap spell. Landing it on the Taric, he's a pretty tanky early champion. So, you know, it's not going to be as effective on him, definitely, as this Tristana. And, you know, the Tristana, you're not really going to be able to hit her. She can
Black
just
Shield coming out in the Cornwell. He's turning some damage onto Will Respect Me, and a nice trade coming out. Really nice Black Shield. And maybe if Cromwell actually just kept on going in for that Taric instead of 90 caliber netting away, could have potentially went for some even more damage, potentially blow some summoners or even get a kill.
Huh. So, one thing that we're going to have to talk about is that Cromwell did end up using his flash in that early invade, so I would definitely like to see an early gank from the Xin Zhao, even just to threaten something in the bot lane, because he doesn't have that flash.
Yeah, and looking on the other side of the map, opposite of that bot lane, is this top lane where Maokai is just getting bullied. That Lissandra with First Blood, that just destroys this matchup for him. And, I mean, look at the CS difference, 18 to 30 right now. That's a pretty decent advantage, and you've got to remember that Lissandra, you know, hasn't been CSing perfectly either. She could have even more CS. So this is just Maokai losing, you know, 2/3 of his wave just due to Lissandra pressure.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of CS differentials, we do have a little bit of one going on in this mid lane right now. Not too much, only about 6 CS, but I am eager to see what this Ari is going to be able to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that CS differential as well as that First Blood gold. If we look at the gold difference, there's actually a 1k gold lead in favor of Alureon, which, I mean, at this point in the game, the difference between 9,000 and 8,000 is a pretty big deal.
Okay. Huh. My league is still giving me a ton of trouble, so I may just end up going to run down the runes right now.
Yeah. You can just watch through the Twitch stream. We'll make do with that for now. Oh,
okay.
Look at the Shyvana positioning, though. The binding hits onto the Tristana. She gets blue smited, but she does have summoners as well as that jump. Gonna rocket jump out. Will Respect Me in a bit of a stickier situation. Oh, Killer Grub getting really low from that Caitlyn. And now they are stuck under this tower. Extremely low. They still do have the Tristana heal. Have to see if they're going to look for that dive. Does not look like it. Xin Zhao's not even nearby. They know that he was top lane because they just saw him. Very tempered aggression.
For sure. I definitely think it was a good idea not to continue that dive. A play like that is something that's just, you know, it's risky, especially when you're, you know, levels still a little early in the game to be trying to pull off a 3v2 dive. So I definitely like that they didn't throw themselves in there for that.
Yeah, and I mean, oh, Oh, a bit of an interesting trade here. Killer Grub is getting extremely low, using the stopwatch, getting exhausted, getting taken out by 2 autos. Comwell and Octoberry securing that kill. And that's a pretty big deal. Tristana, no summoners, no stopwatch. Down a kill, down 20 CS now, and 2 assist gold onto that Caitlyn. That is a 700 gold lead in favor of Comwell. And I mean, Caitlyn, you know, we've been seeing her win rates not super high. She hasn't been doing too hot in solo queue, not really too sought after in competitive play. Tristana, definitely a very high priority pick. And we're seeing, you know, meta isn't everything. Comfort on your champion and experience is what makes the game. And we're seeing that here. This Caitlyn, Comwell, is performing extremely well.
Alright, I have confirmation it is not in fact an unsealed spellbook Malzahar. I wish it was.
Yeah, it is a summon area instead, so opting into more damage.
Which, you know, I guess, like we said, makes sense when you want to stay relevant early against Asari.
Yeah. Oh, look at this mid lane. Nethergrass coming out onto Scam Alert 2. Flashing out. And it will be secured by Chimbro Slice. I love her going for some damage, but maybe getting a little too aggressive. And taken down by the Ignite. A double kill for Timbro Slice, who actually secures it with the red buff and red smite together. Oh, that is not good for Alureon, as Meteor gets 2 kills in that jungle.
Yeah, definitely a little bit aggressive. I know you're big, I know you're a dragon, I know you're very, very scary, but, you know, give it some time. You only have 1 assist.
Yeah, and I want to mention that. So we have the Shyvana jungle. Shyvana loves to get Drakes, because if Shyvana gets Drakes, she gets more resistance for free. And as you mentioned in Champ Select, this Shyvana is the only tank. She needs to become tanky. And so that extra Drake would just give her free tank stats so she can itemize a little more damage heavy without sacrificing their team's only tank. And, you know, when we saw Xin Zhao topside, she didn't go for a dragon. She just went back to farming her bottom side jungle, which I have to say I'm not too happy with.
You know what, I almost feel as though she's trying to force things in the game, and we did see that it did pay off in the bottom lane. But, you know, Shyvana is very, very good at farming. And, you know, Xin is also very good at farming. So I feel like because she's going for these ganks and they're not necessarily getting anything, she may be falling a little bit further behind than is worth for her.
Yeah, Xin Zhao about a 500 gold lead right now. Not too big, but, you know, that mostly is coming from the double kill. We do see Shyvana doing the Ocean Drake finally, which Ocean Drake is going to help. You know, a lot of these champions have mana problems. Ahri, Lissandra, you know, they have ways to fix their mana issues, but an Ocean Drake is always welcome. So, no harm, no foul. Gets the Drake and gets out. And, you know, the extra stats on her passive, making her tankier, are really valuable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, looking for the binding. Octoberry not connecting it, and maybe walking a little too far forward. The Radiance coming out from the Taric as the Shyvana ulti's dropped on the backside. I love her looking to 1v1 Timbro Slice, but it is not happening as that is a fed Xin Zhao. 3 kills over onto that Xin as Timbro Slice 14 is going crazy.
Yeah, and you know what? Both Xin Zhao and Shyvana are champions where if they get even a little bit ahead, they will start
and maybe a little bit isn't enough as Timbro Slice wants to make it more. Killer Grub jumping in, looking for Octoberry. The flash coming out from both supports, and they look like they're going to trade that and call that the end of the fight. Although TP from Vacuum Man in the back line, getting a double kill. 1 kill going over to the ADC actually, and Will Respect Me uses the Hourglass, but it is not going to be enough. A double kill going over to Comwell, and that was a great teleport from Lissandra.
There's so many. No. Yeah, definitely a really good choice from her. Like we were saying before, only having 1 tank on the side of Eon is, you know, it's a little bit awkward. It used to be League of Tanks, no longer League of Tanks, but at the same time, you know, making sure you have that Lysandra, who is now beginning to get ahead and make a space for herself in this top lane, is also really important, and it only serves to widen the gold lead between herself and Maokai.
Yeah. And, you know, we saw the TP coming out from Hamalex. The Maokai was looking to TP down, but I believe it was canceled, or he just TP top lane. I didn't quite see what happened, but either way, Maokai not matching that bottom TP means that Vacuumin got a great teleport off on that Lysandra and swung that fight around in that bot lane. It was so good. I want to say, we respect me building the Tear of the Goddess. I'm a big fan of the Tear of the Goddess on Taric. I think that it's very good. It fixes his mana issues, and it allows him to sustain up his team basically infinitely. I will say it is better when there's a melee target for Taric to stick to, which Shyvana might be enough. Normally it's better if there's like 2 melees or so, but that allows Taric to just get infinite healing off if he can just stick to someone. I mean, in a team fight, Taric can just auto minions if there's no one around, and that wins fights sometimes. So I like the tier here. I think it's good, but oh, a lot of dueling in this top side. We might have to see if a kill is going to come out. Vacuumin not having the ultimate for a while. That that frozen tomb is not going to be able to save her if she can live for a few more seconds. So it will be up, and it does come out. Hamalex now getting the grievous wounds and getting extremely low. Now it looks like it might turn around. Oh, the Q not connecting. Vacuumin now looking towards that bush. No vision, not connecting with the Q, and Hamalex gets the solo kill onto Vacuumin. Holy bonobos, what is that?
That is pretty nuts, first of all. But secondly, it's also super, super important. You know, like we said, we don't want Lysandra getting ahead. We want to make Eon feel like they only have one tank. So the fact that Hamalex was able to solo kill Vacuumin in the top lane, you know, she has an item finished. He's 2-0-2 at that point, and he's a Maokai that's 40 CS down. That was really, really big.
Yeah, and Vacuumin did have the trinket up, so that Lysandra, if she warded that bush and just autoed the Maokai and saw where he was to Q him, I think he would have died. So not placing that ward in that bush, I think really hurt. And do you see Xin Zhao stuttering around on the stream as well, or is that just me? It looks like he's limping.
Yeah, a little bit. That's weird.
I mean, he was 3-1, so I guess that second death kind of, you know, took an arrow to the knee. Or a dragon, one of those two.
Looks like Eon is going to actually send their bot lane top side, though. I like this, you know. They already took the tower bot lane. They want to take this tower top lane. And,
oh, the binding does connect, and a kill does come out. Scam alert 2, stuck in the wall now, dashing forward onto Q Queenie. Queenie running for their life. Now Octoberry hitting the binding again. 2 bindings hit, 2 kills secured for Scam Alert 2. Name staying true. This is all about 2s.
And yeah, honestly, this team from Eon is... I wouldn't say they're starting to run over Team Meteor, but they are definitely ahead. About 5,000 gold right now.
Yeah. And I mean, that 5,000 gold lead is pretty significant because it is on all the carries where it matters. You know, it's divided pretty evenly too. You've got 2 kills on... Oh, Lysandra, speaking of which, caught out of position using that frozen tomb. Charm does connect onto We Respect Me, and Vacuumin's maybe gonna be able to get out of here. Hamalex putting the sapling a little behind the bush, still gonna get that slow though. Octoberry popping the stopwatch. Now still getting CC'd though, and Hamalex picks up another kill. 2 kills on that Maokai. Timbro Slice getting a bit low under that tower. Now getting a kill onto Vacuumin. A lot of damage from that Xin Zhao. Oh, snipe from Comwell. And this is just mayhem everywhere. Although it is 2 kills over to Meteors for 1 kill for Alureon. So advantage there. Oh, maybe make it 3 kills though, as a shutdown kill goes over to Timbro Slice, who's getting so much on this Xin Zhao.
Yeah, and that's... I don't know, I feel like that shutdown onto Comwell may have been just a little bit of mispositioning on his part. You know, there's no reason you need to be there. You've just won the fight. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah. And I mean, this is just so back and forth. It feels like tug of war. The gold lead now down to about 4,500. We see Rift Herald being looked at by both teams. Oh, the Shyvana ultimate comes out, and We Respect Me gets taken out. Q Queenie getting extremely low and killed again. Double kill for I Love Her. I Love Her making love to the enemy team's faces with his fist, but gets taken out finally. Vacuumin now using the stopwatch himself in the backline. Glacial Tomb not up. And Killer Grub looks like he's going to be grabbing that kill. Although gets over the wall, but Hamalex follows through. That Maokai really wanted that kill and went all the way in for it. Now stuck in between a rock and a hard place, although it's more like an Ahri and a Morgana, but we'll get to safety. Indeed.
Indeed. So I don't know. It was a 2 for 3. Both teams, you know, obviously neither team ended up getting that Rift Herald, so neither team is going to have that enhanced.
Oh, binding landing onto Hamalex, getting extremely low, but still going to make it out with his life. And that is mid tower secured. So 3 towers to the 1 tower. Alureon taking a pretty good lead so far, taking decent control of this game. Sadly, didn't get the second Drake though, that Infernal Drake, and we didn't really touch on that. Shyvana's just crying all the way home about that one.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, look at that composition. With 4 damage threats, I mean, even Morgana, you could argue, is a damage threat. If you get Infernal on that team, it is just crazy valuable.
Well, you know what? Even though there is 7,000 gold lead for the side of Eon, you know, it's important to remember that during these fights, things are so close. Like, you know,
This
2
Rift
for 3
Herald
kills.
attempt. Oh, it's looking like it's gonna get really sour really fast. Vacuumin jumping in, gets another grasp, but in the backside, I Love Her is jumping onto them and takes out Q Queenie. But Q Queenie does secure the kill onto Octoberry, and everyone is just dropping left and right. Vacuumin getting extremely low, living so far, and is actually gonna get out. Now turning on to Hamalex. It is 3 kills in favor of for 1. Now 2, as Killer Grub comes in on the backside and tags away that kill onto Vacuumin. These fights are so hectic. This Maokai is barely alive, and now will finally go down to Scam Alert 2. So back and forth. 2 kills for 4 in favor of Alureon. What is going on in these fights?
Yeah, these fights, honestly, I feel like Eon is far enough ahead that they could definitely be, yeah, I feel like they're far enough ahead that they could be causing trouble and getting more worth trades than a 2 for 4. So I feel like, you know, they could be playing it a little bit better. Obviously, you know, they're still winning, but
Yeah. With that Rift Herald down, though, Baron is the next objective up. Oh, Shyvana ulti to safety. Nice little, you know, just, I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Waving out. We do see, I Love Her did get the Rift Herald there, though, so we're going to have to see where that's going to be used, and I think the laning allocations are a little bit worrying at the moment. With the Baron up in the top side, and with no bottom objectives up, you know, putting the bot lane on that bot side from Alureon just seems like misuse of their team resources.
yeah, that
Oh, look at this engage though.
silly.
With that bot lane in this bot side, they're now looking for a fight. Vacuumin getting in there, and Scam Alert picking up the first kill. Hamalex getting quite low. Although with Grub here on the backside, getting a lot of damage in this. Tristana's pretty strong, jumping forward, getting some damage onto Vacuumin, who gets another grasp. Now Killer Grub is looking to possibly go for more. No, content with that. And that is a 1 for 2 trade, and that is just overreaching and over-aggression, especially because Comwell backed. No ADC.
Yeah, Comwell just left. Like, honestly, when Timber Slice went down at the beginning of that fight, I was a little bit apprehensive about continuing, but it definitely paid off, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Timber Slice, you know, he looks like the most fed member, but you gotta remember that there's a 5-1-4 Maokai who is just gonna be unkillable, super glued to your team. And while, yes, you do have the Black Shield to, you know, kind of get that glue off, he still can lock down the other members while that Morgana Black Shield is on cooldown.
Yeah,
so,
and also Black Shield is, you know, a one-person shield. Only shields one person. So, I guess you can coordinate and have that person, everybody line up single file behind the person that has the black shield on them so they don't get hit by the Maokai ult. Maybe it'll work.
Yeah, that's like the good old when Jinx uses Chompers and everyone gets behind the Sivir and then just runs behind her. The Sivir front line.
It's like a conga line.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see the conga line. It is possible this game, as you mentioned, with the Maokai ulti and the Black Shield. Oh, Scam Alert too, getting quite no damage at all, as all the damage is actually on Timbro Slice, who gets locked down. That ultimate is not going to save him. Radiance from Taric is not in time, and we see a lot of damage coming out, although maybe a little bit of overaggression from Scam Alert, as he is just dipping in and out, getting ignited, but getting out again. And Octoberry on the backside, extremely low too. 3 super low members. We have to watch out. Killer Grub not going to get at any of them. The Flash Cherokee gets double kill for We Respect Me, and he will finally drop, but that is a double kill for Taric. He's got to be laughing to the bank with that one.
Yeah, that was definitely quick thinking on Tarik's part. Turning a... I don't know, maybe it turned a 2 for 4 into a... no, maybe it turned an 0 for 4 into a... No?
5 for
yeah, that is what I'm
2.
trying to say.
Yeah.
That is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Definitely, knowing the strengths and damage of his champion. Really good damage foresight. With that, though, Dragon's on the map, and no one's going to be up and fast enough to contest it. So as long as they go for it in the next few decades, they should have this Drake secured. Which we mentioned how strong Infernal Drake is with that team composition, with basically a 5 damage threat comp.
Yeah, you called it a 5 damage threat. I don't know. I don't think that
Morgana does
full
decent
AP.
damage.
Whoop.
For a support, she does decent damage, is what I'm saying.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and plus, she did go for the Zanya's Hourglass, so she does have more AP, which, does benefit from that Infernal Drake, which also affects her Black Shield value. Having a bigger Black Shield means more damage block, and it means that Maokai can't actually bust through it as easily, which means that more CC will be able to be blocked.
Alright. Anyways, I like seeing Morgana being able to go for this Zanya's first item. I love the new support changes. Being able to actually build a Zanya's now, I love it.
Yeah, speaking of the support changes, I don't really like the Morgana's itemization completely. I like, for the most part, what she went for. The one thing I'm not a fan of is upgrading to Eye of the Watchers. I don't think you need to rush that upgrade. You don't really get that much for the value. It's kind of like an Ornn upgrade, right? It's about 1,000 gold. It's 950 for just extra stats that you could be putting towards a different item instead.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, it's not bad, but it could be used towards that Locket. You could have Locket right now instead, which is a pretty big deal. Or the, if she wanted to, she didn't even have to go Locket. She could go for the, oh, the name of it escapes me. Zeke's Herald, or Harbinger, that one. Oh, it's Zeke's Convergence now. They can change its name every season, I swear. Mm-hmm. Oh, the Maokai ulti coming out. Nether's Grasp gonna get 2 people, although just jumping right in, vacuuming, going in there, using Frozen Tomb, but still gonna be dropped. Stopwatch is dropped to left and right, as it is actually just Zanya's. I lied. Now, Scam Alert taken out, and 3 for 2 so far. Now Timbro Slice also dropped, and it looks like it might be a clean ace. Meteor having only 1 member left, and it is the ace. Triple kill going over to Comwell, and that is the ace secured for Alureon, who might end the game off of that. It looks like it.
Yeah, that fight looked like it was going to be great just because Timbro Slice started it in the mid lane. Wasn't too close, wasn't a straight up 5v5 at the beginning of that, and, they're going to lose the game for it.
Yeah, and with that, Alureon takes the first game and the victory over Meteor to start this best of 2 series in a 1-0. Comp, do you have any regards about that game that you'd like to look and maybe see some adaptions from Meteor for that second game?
Ooh, I'm not too sure about the adaptions, but I am definitely very excited to see the second game, just because for so long, even though there was a gold difference, it was so close between them. Like, even trades, super close fights. I'm really excited to see what happens next game.
All right, and with that concludes our first game. Don't go anywhere, as we will be right back with our second game in this best of 2 series between a Meteor and Alureon.
Don't you wish that you'd closed your eyes, stolen just a bit more time, taught yourself to never compromise, be brave enough to try to walk the line, you ran like you were chased by wolves, ruthless but you still played the fool, don't you think that you'd rather lose? Don't you think that you'd rather tear our world apart? If we found this from the start, I'd be the queen of your heart, the queen of your heart. We built our house of cards, but it feels like it's still ours. Can I be the queen of your heart? The queen of your heart. Queen of your heart. The queen of your So tell me, couldn't it be easy? Or do we always have to take the harder road? How couldn't we have known by how the birds have flown? We should never be alone. We should never be alone. Tear our world apart. If we found this from the start, I'd be the queen of your heart, the queen of your heart. We built our house of cards, but it feels like it's still ours. Can I be the queen of your heart, the queen of your heart?
Hello, everybody. We are here in Learning 5's Game 2 for the NA Showmatch Week 3. I am not Companion
Comp, is that
Pig,
you?
as
No?
you may have noticed. I am Niberia. I am joined still by Meowing Cat. We have Team Alureon on the blue side this time, and Team Meteor on the red. It is Game 2, in case anyone forgot. Doubtful. We're seeing the Caitlyn ban come out, which is not surprising. Comwell performed wonderfully on it last game, going, I believe, 9-1 and 8, which is ridiculous with that triple kill. Perfect. We have a few more bans coming out, flying hard and fast. Lysandra, Malzahar, Maokai, Ornn. Nothing too surprising here. Meowing Cat, why was the Ahri banned? Because I didn't feel like it was that big of a problem.
Yeah, it kind of just felt like the team as a whole just kind of fell apart, you know? We saw all those damage threats getting fed, and everyone kind of just won their lane, except in the top lane. I think that Maokai definitely held his ground, but bottom lane seemed pretty, towards the side of Alureon. Mid lane was definitely in favor of Alureon, and in the jungle there was actually an advantage for Meteor. They were playing towards Timbro Slice, going for that carry, but that Xin Zhao wasn't enough, and not picking it up this game, a bit interesting, just opting into changing it up. He did really well on it, so I wouldn't have hated to see it again, but...
Well, not picking it or Shyvana, which is the interesting thing, because both of them are very powerful early game scaling junglers that just kind of take over the entire game by themselves. Whereas this Cho'Gath, which I assume is going to be in the jungle, almost certainly now, unless they want to mix it up with Tahm Kench's jungle and Cho'Gath support. I've seen it. That doesn't feel as impactful because Cho'Gath doesn't really have as easy a gank as something like a Xin. It doesn't counter jungle as hard as Shyvana. It has its own strengths. Sure, objective control with Feast and the ability to have a silence is pretty nice, I guess, but...
I don't think they're picking their champions in their own order.
Well, where else could it go?
Because there's the Tahm Kench mid lane, so I'm thinking that,
Uh-oh. Well, let's pretend that Lobby didn't screw up.
Yeah, so...
Where else could it have gone, though? Because they already picked Renekton, and then they picked Tahm Kench.
So yeah, I have seen a little bit of Renekton jungle, and I think that his ganks might be a little more reliable than a Cho'Gath's, so that could potentially be a thing.
Fury is always going to be a problem, though.
I'm not saying it's great, but he does have some decent gank potential. I would enjoy to see it too, but the Renekton was picked up in the top side in the pick ban, so I'm thinking that they're probably going to stick with that, and it will be the Cho'Gath jungle, which, if we are looking at that as the Cho'Gath jungle, it doesn't seem that great against that team. It's against a... let me get confirmation on this. Karthus top lane?
Yes, Karthus. Karthus was in that game, yes.
And then we have...
Rammus. Rammus was the other one.
Yeah, so Karthus, Rammus...
Okay.
And then LeBlanc, yeah. And so already with what we saw, you have this very heavy kiting with the Karthus slowing field and the LeBlanc with the chains as well as her W. It's going to be very hard for Cho'Gath to get on anyone. I mean, he can silence into a knockup the LeBlanc, but even then, she probably won't get 100-0'd, so... Well, overall, the Cho'Gath pick just leaving, mixed feelings.
I'm going to ask you a bit of a sidebar question here. So, Predator Karthus. I know
okay.
Because I've watched you play against it on Skara, the man, the myth, the legend himself. You whooped him, but does it have any merit?
So, I think Predator is a interesting keystone. It's very good when ahead. When behind, it feels very underwhelming because you don't get any poke value from it. You don't get any, laning stance. It's kind of just, run forward, get a kill, and then you gotta wait for the cooldown. So, if he can get a lead, and, against that team, it is really nice to have because it allows you to just run up onto that Xerath, onto that Xayah, onto that Tahm Kench, and force, Tahm Kench to eat someone. So it's annoying to deal with, but they do have a lot of answers to it, so... I don't know if it's going to be Predator. I'm thinking it's more towards the Unsealed Spellbook, which is safer. It's a lot safer. Not fun, but...
Almost certainly. I just wanted to throw it out there while we had time. But going back to pick and ban, these bans are not the same bans as last time.
Yeah, so...
Unless they ban those during the last cycle before the Champion Select ended, which I'm thinking now might be the case.
These are the bans in the pro draft. So
Okay, excellent. So nothing is out of
not
order.
in the correct
we're
order,
just-
but they are the bans.
Okay,
So,
excellent.
close enough.
We figured it out. We're monsters. So with Rammus being probably the only tank, possibly a tank coming in at the support position as well, how does this team sort of team fight at this point? Do you have to kite back? Do you go for picks, I'd assume, because Rammus's taunt as well as LeBlanc's ethereal chains are incredible pick tools, and then you have Requiem from Karthus in case you need just a little bit more damage to finish him off.
Yeah. Alureon has a lot of CC and a lot of kiting with the Ashe, with the volley, and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow at level 6, with the Morgana with bindings, with the Karthus with the slowing W, with LeBlanc with the chains. There's so much slows and so much CC that they can just throw while walking away. And so I don't ever see this Renekton, or Cho'Gath sticking. And so it's really up to Xerath to get poke down beforehand, and then Xayah to just go clean up as soon as Renekton and Cho'Gath land some CC, which could be a possibility with that Tahm Kench ulting behind them, carrying a Cho'Gath or something.
Yeah, we've seen that. That's been seen a little bit in LPL, one of those strategies where they had no way to get on the enemy, but instead they just took Callista Tahm Kench, and Tahm Kench would just ult into the back lines. And then Fate's Call would go out, and you'd have a flank and a knockup, and then the slower team could come in. We're obviously not going to see the Fate's Call part of that combo, but Xayah herself can just ultimate and then hit E and get several routes based on her feathers. So it could be a possibility in terms of how they play the team fights, but I suspect they'd want to kite them out more. They have a lot of disengage with the Cho'Gath, not so much with the Renekton, but if anyone goes on them, he has that nice on-demand W stun. Tahm Kench also great at kiting out with the tongue lash, and even his W if he wants to kidnap someone and throw them into his own team. Those are a lot of options they have. Whereas on the other team, it looks a lot more pick-oriented, and as you said, slows galore. Ashe being another pickup that just is a slowing monster. I'm not sure how well this Ashe Morgana will play into the Xayah Tahm Kench, though, in the bot lane. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, so I do want to mention the Tahm Kench that we touched on a little bit. He is very good into Morgana and Ashe and LeBlanc, because as soon as someone gets CC'd, he can just gobble them up and spit them right back out elsewhere, or just drag them to safety. So, if as long as Tahm Kench is not the target getting CC'd, and that is very important, then he can just devour his ally and then save them. Ashe ult, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, gone with Tahm Kench W. Morgana Dark Binding hit from 5 million miles away for 2 years, gone with the Tahm Kench W, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as long as we Spec Me is not getting hit by those CCs, and if he does, he will die. They can definitely, blow some important cooldowns and win fights due to that.
And hopefully Tahm Kench will be going Guardian. I know I've heard whispers of other pickups like Unsealed Spellbook or things like that, but Guardian really just has so much power paired with Tahm Kench because he gets the move speed from eating someone when moving towards enemies, but he also gets the move speed from Guardian.
Whoa. Excuse me. I believe that Tahm Kench, Guardian, with the changes to it, isn't extremely valuable, and with Tahm Kench, he doesn't have any way that he can apply it from range as Taric can with his W and Q, that, Soraka can with her W. He doesn't have something like that, so he needs to be in melee range of his ally anyways, in which case he can almost always devour them instead. And so he doesn't really get too much from that devour, and so we're seeing a lot more Spellbook Tahm Kench. And even more interesting, we're seeing even more than the Unsealed Spellbook. We're seeing Glacial Augment, or is it Glacial Augment?
That's the
one.
one.
I'm just double checking.
My favorite keystone.
I really think it is good on Tahm Kench. Against that team, I don't think it can work because of their composition and how it works. With all that peel back, with all that CC, Tahm Kench is not going to be able to get those autos off. Against more melee targets, against, less CC, Glacial Augment is definitely the way to go, but I think Spellbook is the correct way to go this game.
Yeah, I'd like to see Glacial Augment get picked up more, but honestly...
Oh, it is. On Tahm Kench, it has become the meta.
I know, but I want to see it on other things, but it just...
Oh, and he did go Glacial Augment. Okay, so I think he should have went
while.
Spellbook this game, but we are going to see the Glacial Augment.
One day.
And With the Glacial Augment, you pair that with the approach velocity. The reason that's so strong is because Tahm Kench hits a Q. He gets movement speed when running towards them. He hits an auto. He gets more movement speed, and you cannot get away from that Tahm Kench.
Right.
It is
Hopefully
disgusting.
we'll see a little bit of the kidnapping maneuver going on. And this entire conversation, ladies and gentlemen, is why you keep up with patch notes. But we'll be going into game in a few seconds here. We hope to see you on the other side.
I don't belong, pulling me down. Stand still, tides fading into the darkness. Leave me.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back from the break. I'm still Nibiria. I'm still joined by Meowing Cat. And this is now the beginning of Game 2. But I'm going to do something a little bit greedy, and I hope he doesn't hate me for it. I'm going to introduce the teams, both of them, because I haven't done it in so long. On the blue side, we have Team Alureon with Vacuumin in the top lane. I love her in the jungle. How cute. Scam Alert in the mid lane. Comewell on AD carry. Octoberry on support. On the red side, we have Team Meteor with Hamalex in the top lane. Timbro Slice in the jungle. Queenie in the mid lane. Killer Grub on AD carry. And we spect me on support. And we're hopefully going to see Octoberry eat a little bit of CC here.
Well, the opposite is actually what happened last game, where Octoberry got the first blood for Vacuumin. And it's a bit interesting to see that they're not going for that level 1 with the Morgana again. I mean, this level 1 is actually really strong. Morgana, Ashe. You have, LeBlanc, who's okay. Rammus, Karthus, not great, but they're still champions. And the level 1 on the enemy team is not that great. Zaya's level 1 isn't amazing because she doesn't have her E. Renekton's level 1 isn't amazing either because he doesn't have, enough abilities to do decent damage output. Going down the line, just all around meh. And so that Morgana, amazing level 1, Ashe, amazing level 1, it looks like you would want to go for that, and they could have. And they did it last game. Not doing it this game, I feel like, is a mistake.
I agree with that, and even Rammus has an okay level 1. You can start Taunt first. It's not ideal, but it does still give you the attack speed for clearing. So it's a possibility. It was better when it used to shred armor of targets, but no longer. Patches change, and so do champions. But both junglers are starting on the bot side. Nothing new to be seen here. We see this a lot in not only Learning Fives, but professional play, because you get that leash from the two-man. It's just a nice way to start out your jungle clear, It's like starting your day with fresh cup of coffee versus, like, 2-day-old pot of coffee, to be clear.
2-day-old pot of coffee.
Yeah, we're just making sure everyone understands the context properly. In the top lane, we see Vacuumin poking out with Airy. So that's like the last thing I would have expected from this Karthus.
Yeah.
It seems to be going okay, but I have to wonder why there was no unsealed spellbook. With the reduced cooldown on Flash, Teleport, the ability to switch to maybe Ghost Flash at some point if he wanted, or to even take an early combat summoner like Exhaust to ensure that he has the safe laning. I feel like unsealed spellbook just would have been the better choice.
Yeah, well, in mid lane, I normally would say, always kind of... Well, Ares actually pretty decent on Karthus because of his low cooldowns. He's kind of... It's basically like a budget DFT that just requires you to hit more skill shots. Or to hit more damage continuously, and so...
So it would be useless for me.
Oh, no, Niberia. Airy is actually very valuable on Karthus. And into a tank matchup, maybe I would have liked to see him go for Unsealed Spellbook because he's still going to be bullying him anyways. But in this Bruiser matchup against the Renekton, it's allowing him to get that extra bit of damage out, keeping Renekton below the mark where he can sustain it up through his Q, through that Doran's shield. And it's going to get some sticking damage. And so it is definitely a valuable option. I think more viable than Spellbook or Predator would be this game.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just really like Spellbook and Glacial Augment. They're my favorites. Anyways, in the bot lane, I'm just seeing a lot of weird uses of Devour from We Spect Me. He keeps kind of just popping it after the damage has gone down. He's kind of just screwing over Killer Grub's CS at this point. Ooh, gank coming in the top lane. Vacuuming getting slowed up by the red buff. Hamalex going to force the flash by dashing onto him. So a pretty successful gank. No unsealed Spellbook means that the cooldown on flash is still going to be that full 5 minutes. So could see a repeat gank coming up soon, and I hope we will.
Yeah. This Karthus does, however, have teleport. So if he gets too low, no mana right now, might want to take a recall, just TP back up into the lane, and then just keep up that lane dominance.
Mm-hmm. That is one of the
Something I want to make note of is if we look at this bot side, look at these health bars. Killer Grub and We Spec Me are getting so low from all of that long-range damage, all of that CC from the Ashe Morgana.
That said, it's still only a 7 CS lead. Oh, Hamlex going in pretty ham.
Yeah, Vacuumin.
But nothing's going to come of it much.
Yeah, Vacuumin with no mana can't really do anything in this lane, so Karthus does need to reset as soon as possible. Or else Renekton can aggress like that, and he just did it. We could see it again, and we have to watch out, as Vacuumin might just get solo killed if he's not being careful.
Yeah, Hamalex has the dash.
Oh, it looks like it might be
flashing for the stun and gets the Q. Hamalex with first blood.
Yeah, and that is a very heavy misplay by Vacuumin. He needs to be able to assess that situation and see, I am very low, I'm within Renekton's burst range, I need to reset, TP back to lane. Oh, Hamlet. Okay.
Why was he
if he
there?
executed, I would have just jumped off a cliff.
That would have been awful. I'm glad he didn't. I'm not sure why he was there, but you know what? I'm also not sure how Rammus has a 12 CS lead, so maybe we can figure that out as there's a gank coming in the bot lane. Timbro Slice going to try and get the rupture, but it's going a little bit wide. Pause coming out. Not quite sure what this is about. Unfortunately, I cannot make some MS Paint drawings to pass the time, so we'll have to talk about the game or something. I hear that's what we're supposed to do.
Oh, no.
I know.
How terrible.
How will we ever do it? It's like we do this every weekend or something. Jeez.
Yeah.
So we have CS lead from Ashe in the bot lane, which is
pretty sizable. I mean, 40 to 26 is a pretty big difference. About 300 gold. We do see the impulse coming out.
I don't know if it should, because I'm not really a master of bot lane matchups in any sense of the word. But I feel like Ashe shouldn't be doing that well, especially because Xayah has such long-range poke with her feathers. Like, her kit is just so well built to get a little bit of chip damage down, if you will, onto anyone she wants. Yes, it's hard to trade straight up 1v1 with an Ashe with Ranger's focus ticking, but that should never be the situation.
Well, and that mostly isn't the situation. Oh, that's gonna have to hold on though.
Great gank, or great engage in the mid lane. Not even a gank from Scam Alert, but not quite enough to get the kill.
Yeah, the second chain didn't connect. This chain that we saw was actually the clone chain.
Oh, Hamalex going in again, gets the stun. He's going to get the dash out, not going to use the empowered Q on the Karthus. I think that's a little bit of a mistake, but probably going to save it for the wave clear. Timbro Slice getting rooted up, not going to matter. Gank failed again. Not looking good in the mid lane.
Yeah, so, oh, look at Hamalex's health bar. Those Qs landing one after another. I do want to touch on that bot lane matchup a little more. The Ashe does have decent poke with the volley, which does outrange the Xayah. And with that Morgana, oh, this top lane fight though, look at this.
Hamalex doesn't have flash, he's getting taunted. There's no way he doesn't go down here. The ultimate dominance going to be not quite enough. Thought it was going to save him.
And now in the bot lane.
Bot lane, We Spec Me getting pretty low, getting the tongue lash for the poke, getting eaten up with the Devour. Not going to matter.
Yeah, just action across the map, but only one kill for each top laner right now. So much action, yet so little kills. People definitely showing respect to their opponents. But
I like to
touch
see
on
high
that
action games with... I don't know how I feel about low kill counts, but I like to see the players actually...
whacking each other.
interacting, I'll say. You know...
Maybe a little more refined.
Skill expression.
Yeah.
What are some other words? I don't know. Tempo.
Oh!
Combo getting pretty low. The ultimate from Queenie coming out. He has one more charge. Can he get the snipe down? He got it! Queenie with the shot from downtown. North American sniper coming in huge right now. Oh.
Fake clone.
Oh, that wasn't the real
It was a
LeBlanc.
clone.
Okay, we're
no,
good.
no. She doesn't have TP up.
It's like, where did she come from? Scam alert.
Oh, but she's coming here now.
Queenie, though.
There's
He
3
gets
people
the
right there,
Imperial
though. We gotta
chains,
be a little
the
careful.
E-stun from Xerath. Gonna be enough to save him. Good play.
Yeah.
Zora's team. Doing him pretty proud, I'd imagine. Team Meteor playing a lot better this game.
Yeah, Meteor is having a good showing. I think that something to touch on. So, Hamalex in this top side, last game, he got bullied out of lane. He was playing the Maokai, and his laning opponent got a first blood that was not due to him. So, he had no influence over that, except maybe telling his team, hey, don't die to level 1, which he could have, but I wouldn't fault him for that. And so, he played exceptionally well last game. He was 5-1-4 on that Maokai at one point of time, and while his team still did lose, his individual performance in a lane where he was down first blood and got bullied out of 20 plus CS really early on is actually really surprising, and he's showing up really well on this Renekton too.
Oh, Timbro's Slice coming in. If he can get the Rupture, this is a free gank. Going for the Spooky Scream first. The stuns come out. 1, 2. Vacuuman's pretty low. Will he go down? No. Flashing out and saving himself. Red buff not going to quite be enough. Potion ticking. And I love her is right there in the top lane. Just in case.
Yeah. Hamalex saving that Dominus. If that ultimate was dropped, I'm almost certain that Renekton would have secured that kill onto Vacuuman. So I think that is just a greed of not wanting to waste that ultimate. And it would not have been a waste. As we saw, the kill was not secured. And all that for nothing. I mean, they do get a flash, and they do get a teleport out of Vacuuman. So yes, there is something, but just using an ultimate for a kill is definitely worth it at this point. So,
and especially because, I mean, Dominus only has a 2-minute cooldown. Like, that sounds like a lot, but you really only need it in these heavy
it's not
engages.
horrible, yeah.
It's not an ultimate that you use often in trades. It's sort of, oh god, I'm getting ganked. Let me panic and get enough health to get out. Or, oh god, it's a huge team fight. And with these team compositions, I don't expect any huge team fights coming out soon. So that lead would have been nice to have.
Look at Hamalex going in onto Vacuuman.
Gonna try and poke him out with the Skittles. Missing a few of them.
Look at this.
I love her with the repeat gank. Gonna get the taunt, but I love her as under tower taking damage. Aftershock is disgusting.
Yeah. And, I mean, this is Aftershock when it's even weaker, arguably, on Rammus. Oh, looking for the repeat gank.
No. Oh, Dominus. That's a good use of Dominus, ladies and gentlemen. I love her. Gonna go down here. Can Hamalex get the...
No! He can kill him!
Why is he Requieming under tower? He killed him and interrupted the ultimate. Hamalex, you're a monster! But Vacuuman and I love her. You guys just kind of potatoed pretty hard, I gotta say. I'm sorry. That was...
I knew as soon as that ulti was cast. Oh my.
Why would he cast it?
Here's the thing about Karthus. You want to cast your ultimate when you know that you're out of range of anyone, or when you know that you're dead, and you're just dead, and you're passive. Oh, now in the bot lane, though.
Ooh, bot lane gank coming down. It looks like Timbroslice getting pretty low. We expect me getting him out. Killer Grub gonna try and get the root down onto Octoberry. Not hitting E in time, so he's not gonna get it. Killer Grub having to heal. Will they get out? Yeah, they'll get out alive. It's fine. That was... Alright.
I'm still shook by that top lane.
I am too. All right, I want to do some quick maths, as they say. As the kids say, Meow and Cat. Requiem does 295 damage. That's a considerable chunk. However, one single lay waste will do 240
Enchantress
plus 36
Solero.
damage. Uh-oh.
You missed it by doing math.
Taken out. I was busy making a point, game. Anyways,
Stupid
the
League of
point
Legends.
Is, Lay Waste does 20 less damage if you get it isolated. That's it. And it has like a 3-second cooldown, and you wouldn't be locked in place. Just saying. Hamalex going back into the top lane, getting a little bit of damage down, but mostly getting it taken. Scam alert, kiting out Timbroslice, but Timbro is pretty tanky already. He doesn't have a whole... Oh, the flash coming out, the E. Flash from Scam alert as well. Oh, boy, he's in trouble now. Timbroslice going to get taken out there. The Ethereal Chains. Double pop, gonna take it.
Yeah, there was no indicator for Cho'Gath. LeBlanc wouldn't have died there, you know, to that Cho'Gath feast, and using the flash to ulti that wouldn't even secure the kill is
Now, this right here, what
optimistic
we're
to say the
seeing
least.
before this gank or this fight bot happens, because I know it will. What we're seeing from I Love Her is something I'd love to see a lot more.
Shut up, Niberia.
No, I refuse to shut up. There's an Ignite going down onto Octoberry, but nothing else is really happening. Killer Grub getting slowed up a little bit. Oh, I Love Her coming down with the gank. Brilliant pathing from him. I'll explain why later. I will not be silenced, Meowing Cat. We expect me getting a little bit low, but not quite going to go down just yet. Cumwell might use the Enchanted Crystal Arrow to try and get a snipe. Not going to happen. Queenie coming down into the bot lane, just getting some poke damage down with the Arcano Pulse. Stun going down. And, you know, it's just a thing that happened. Anyways, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I don't remember. What the hell was I saying?
You called it too. You said you were like, I just want to make a point before something happens.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The reason I said that was, here's what a lot of junglers tend not to do, and it's so important, and you'll see it a lot in high levels of play like LCS, all the professional areas, I'll say. He killed his enemy jungler. He immediately, knowing his blue was up and assuming that Timbro Slice took the same rough clear times, went over to Timbro's blue, took it, warded to make sure he had vision in case Timbro came back, and then immediately went bot. So he made a huge advantage out of the death on the enemy jungler. A lot of times, especially in lower level games, we'll see a jungler get a kill on the enemy jungler or on anyone, and then nothing happens.
Yeah, just go back to farming some Wraith camp.
There's no objective. It's just like, okay, time to go back to my own jungle. But that blue buff take and the following gank epitomize what you should be doing when you get that kind of lead. And he knew he had the support of his mid laner.
And I Love Her. Again, look at this.
A little bit of a fight coming down. Love Her getting kill onto Timbro Slice. Going down really quickly. Scamalor getting pretty low as well. Hamalex gonna take it out. I Love Her going to fall. Vacuumin, will you be the last one down? Hamalex, you can do it, buddy. He gets it with the Q. 5-1-1 on this Renekton. He is going off.
Yeah, and I mentioned in Champ Select, I was kind of asking, who thinks that Meteor can turn this game around and win it? And everyone was kind of like, nah, they did really poorly last game. But I made the point, and I talked about it in this game too, how he did so well on that Maokai that he can maybe carry this game out. And this Renekton is going crazy. 5-1-1, as you mentioned. He is up 1,500 gold over Vacuumin, which is a lot of gold. Basically, more than his entire team's gold lead. And so he is just dragging his team to the finish line, saying, I want to win this game. We're going to have to see if it pans out for him, but I'm going to say the Cho'Gath jungle not showing up too much.
Timbro?
Oh,
hello?
Showing bot lane, I guess.
Go down. Feral Scream not going to be able to follow. Tongue Lash going out. Killer Grub not going to get the snare down.
The walk into lane Q Cho'Gath is not the most efficient, I will say.
Generally not the best gank path, no. We expect me getting hit by the ethereal chains. Meanwhile, it looks like Timbro Slice also getting rooted up. We expect me going to devour and toss Cho'Gath away, but you're getting pretty low, buddy. Getting rooted up, he's going to be the first one down. Will Timbro Slice fall as well? It's looking likely. Cumwell having to flash out, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow does cover his own rear. And Timbro Slice, not dying quite yet, gets taken out by Octoberry. Good lord, that was some damage. Cumwell getting blown up by Killer Grub. That was not the turn I was expecting. I'm going to be quite honest.
I saw the feathers and I'm like, no, don't walk into the feathers. And Cromwell walked into the feathers.
All right, we're going to see the repeat gank here top lane. We've seen this a lot, but Hamalex has turned it every single time. He's going to pop Dominus here in a second. I almost guarantee it. Not going to pop it quite yet, getting taunted. He's waiting until he's low to try and bait them perhaps. Hamalex going to try and get away now from Vacuumin there on the Karthus passive. Death defied indeed, but will Hamalex defy his own death? I Love Her gonna solo kill from that point onward. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is in fact a lot of damage. Hamalex finally dropped. It only took, 3 people. It was basically a 1v2 and he still would have died to the Rammus. So LeBlanc not needed, but coming by and saying hi. This top tower will go down now that LeBlanc is in here. I lied. There's a ran there.
Oh, Tom Kench coming up by himself, though. That's not going to go very well. I love her getting ignited, but will We Spec Me get the slow? The Eat Feast coming down from Timber Slice. Speaking of redundancies, bot lane, Ocean Drake, we're getting it taken.
Yeah, that was a really good play from Timber Slice. That was a great rupture to interrupt the Rammus Q. The Rammus, oh, and the repeat gank in the top lane. Look at this. With We Spec Me.
Just going to try and solo vacuum him. He might be able to. We Spec Me going to come in, trying to get the Tongue Lash, gets it down. Will he be able to get the 3 stacks and the following Devourer? If you can just throw him in. Oh, apparently he just died.
Yeah, and I mean, that Tom Kench is going to go fast with that approach velocity, with that Glacial Augment. It is so hard to get away from him. And we were thinking, okay, you know, the Morgana and Ashe are going to be able to kite that Tom Kench out. With the Swifty Boots, he is a lot less susceptible to those slows from the Ashe, from the Karthus, and you know there still are some hard CCs that he has to watch out for, and you know maybe Mercs would have been the better option, but it definitely will allow him to play more aggressively on this Tom Kench, and they are ahead, so maybe maybe while not the right choice, there is some merit to it, and he has it will alter his playstyle in a way that might be more beneficial towards him as a player.
Another thing to mention about the Ashe slows, yeah, they're a problem if you're trying to chase someone, but the problem with Ashe's slows, in and of themselves, is that Ashe actually has to be there, as it would turn out.
Yeah.
And with We Spec Me roaming top, probably going to start roaming mid if they get a big enough lead so that we can take more of the map. There's nothing Ashe can do. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, sure, but that requires a cross-map snipe. It won't get there for a good 10 seconds. And a lot can happen in that time. Rift Herald being taken by Team Meteor while I wouldn't shut up.
Oh.
Timber Slice getting kited out, but the Rupture lands. Hamalex decides that's his cue to go in. He gets a stun on the clone. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate.
There's a lot of bindings being hit by Octoberry. We're going to have to see if they're going to capitalize it for once.
Red buff, who's it going to go down to? It goes down to I Love Her, but Octoberry getting really low, about to get blown up. Timbo Slice gonna try and take it. Hamalex says, hello. We Spec Me gonna not quite fall. Okay. Oh, Requiem coming out. We Spec Me. You're in trouble, buddy. Or he's fine. I lied. Sorry, everyone. Herald coming out. This is going to be a crazy push soon. Scamble getting the kill from downtown onto We Spec Me. The double dash ethereal chains. But it's still a 4v4 here. And Herald pulls more than her own weight, which is considerable. I Love Her.
Yeah,
Looking for
taunt
a flank
coming
here.
out.
Gets the taunt. Timbro not going to fall from it, though. And it looks like they're just going to disengage. They got one tower and a little bit of...
Ashe's Enchanted Crystal Arrow. I think they could have maybe went for something there.
Probably. Everyone was up. Oh, Ashe is out of mana.
Oh. And that's not saying that he misplayed by not using ulti, because he couldn't use ulti. He misplayed by wasting all the mana. Comwell has to manage it a little bit better. That's just something you can't allow to do. With that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, you need to save 100 mana for it. It is almost never worth it to use a volley, you know, instead of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You need to save that mana.
What do you think of this Bork first here?
Yeah, so, I mean, normally, you know, you see Essence Reaver Ashes that focus on utility more so, but you can go for a different build, and in this case, it is actually the correct build, I feel. Against the triple tank, you know, or double tank and bruiser in the top lane, the Tahm Kench, the Cho'Gath, and the Renekton, this Blade of the Ruin King will get a lot of damage value because of its anti-health damage output passive.
Will it follow into a pure crit build, or will we see that really weird build that used to be pretty much
like Black Cleaver? Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're gonna see something more akin to like Runons and then maybe IE, maybe an Essence Reaver later. Who knows?
Yeah, I really don't like the Black Cleaver build. It doesn't feel very impactful. It's good at shredding tanks a little bit.
The Black Cleaver build?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fallen out. I mean, I think the Bork here is good, but I think after that, you just go for crit. You can maybe pick up Essence Reaver. Other than that, everything just regular crit. Static Shiv, maybe Runons, maybe Static, maybe Phantom Dancer, and then Infinity Edge, just to round it out. Stuff like that. Not in that order, by the way.
Right.
But
we're not just throwing around items willy-nilly.
Yeah. They have class. All right, you got to build them in a specific order.
That's right. That's right.
And I think Runon's next here would be very, very good for the Ashe, as she would be allowed to slow multiple targets at once with her autos.
Now we're seeing a little bit of movement around the map, but it's starting to devolve into A-ramming, and I don't think this is very good for anyone, but especially Team Meteor, because they have the leads in all 3 lanes. They have shoved Team Alureon completely into their base, at least once at this point. What they should be trying to do is play around objectives, like Baron's up. Get some more vision around it. They haven't swept it. Scuttle was taken, so that is, you know, bit of a wrench in the works. Uh-oh. 5 men going top to try and get Hamalex. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide. I love her. Does get the taunt. Hamalex, you know that you're being chased. You have to by this point. Scam Alert coming in. Oh boy. Ethereal Chains went wide, so he has a chance at this point, but I love her is going to get that Powerball up in a few seconds. It's up. Hamalex doesn't have flash anymore. Timbro Slice trying to kite it out. Save his top laner. And that was the biggest waste of time in history. And Team Meteor couldn't do anything off of it, which is
while that went
on,
thing. The Drake is going to be going up, but that's not really important. That bottom tower, though, took a lot of damage, and a lot of CS just died right there. So that is a lot of gold just kind of going to waste. And so that would have been a way for Meteor to further their lead. I mean, you gotta, you look at this gold difference. They've got 4 towers difference. They've got 4 kills over them. Yet there's only a 3k gold difference, 2.5k. And you have to look at these CS numbers, and you understand why. 20 CS up on that. Oh, it's gonna have to hold on.
Uh-oh, fight coming down. Timbro Slice getting pretty low, taken out. Meanwhile, the dragon was taken, which is not... Okay, that's fine. There are just some weird, I would assume, miscommunications here, because... Correct me when I'm wrong. Hamalex was getting chased by 5. He's either going to get it out or get blown up. Those are the only 2 options. There's no time that he turns and kills all 5. Unless he's just some super god. But even then, autos probably would have been enough to take him down. In that situation, when the entirety of Team Meteor is around the bot side, instead of moving up, just shove bot. You have an inhib tower exposed. Draw the pressure back down, and then you either save Hamalex or you get a lot of damage down onto an actual objective instead of just moving up and then...
Well, the problem with sending people bot lane right now is that Hamalex is the only person that can really go bottom because of his teleport. You don't want to leave this Baron exposed. You can't send people bot side unless they have some way to get up. Tahm Kench does have a way to get up with his ulti and can bring 1 other person, so that is an option, but you can't send everyone into that bot side. And so it would be much more efficient if they could actually send their team topside, get that inner turret for free, and send Hamalex in the bottom lane and get a split push going with him. I mean, there's no reason that Hamalex is here when he has teleport up.
I completely forgot about the existence of Baron, which is something that just shows my elo. Scam Alert getting engaged on here. Ethereal Chains not quite gonna land. Killer Grove is really low. Scam Alert trying to chase for it, but oh no, Requiem coming out. He gets blown up. Scam Alert gonna have the heal from the redemption, but not quite enough as Timber Slice feasts on him. I love her trying to get away. Ooh, the missed tongue lash flash from Respect Me. Not what they were looking for in that game.
Yeah, it went 1 for 1. Killer Grub does die in the end, but they get Scam Alert as well in exchange, which, I mean, it looked like Killer Grub was just gonna die for free, and so blowing all their stuff, dropping the Requiem, dropping the Redemption, and only going 1 for 1 definitely isn't a great feeling. They do get the flashes and the heal out of the bot laners, though, so that is something that they can use to play around Baron with. That is definitely important.
Yeah, that Karthus wave clear is nutty. They're probably going to have to take him out before they can get any headway on the inner turrets.
Speaking of taking him out, take Hamalex out of your team death ball right now. Put him in that bot lane. Get a split push going. He should still be strong enough to bully around Vacuumin. If he's not, you can reevaluate your game plan at that point. But... Oh, a Baron start.
Okay, Baron sneak. Vacuumin is going to...
They're not bursting it down. They know that it started.
Timber Slice is going to try and stop him. Gets the rupture. It lands. Feral Scream gonna have to come out to silence him. Oh no, he flashes in with Death Defied. He's gonna get so much AoE damage on Hamalex, getting so low that he has to pop Dominus. Queenie in the backline, almost dead. I love her, about to go down. Timber Slice, first one to fall in this extended fight. Queenie getting taken out by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. The fight is still going. Hamalex getting low, but not low enough to die as Killer Grub goes down. Cumwell going crazy in this fight with the AoE damage. Hamalex will finally fall for the ace. Oh my goodness, that was a terrible fight for Alureon. Oh, sorry, Meteor. It was a great fight for Alureon.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they came in late and immediately Vacuuman got caught out. But instead of flashing away, he flashed directly into the Baron pit, in front of the Baron pit. So if people wanted to get out, they had to walk past that Karthus. And that was such a smart play by him. Vacuuman completely saved that fight. While he initially made a misplay, he just thought, okay, how do I fix this? And just immediately was like, I'm dead, but you are dead too. And won the fight.
And that was the right call at that point, because all they could do was get out. Because if they stayed in any vicinity, he split the team, first of all, and he also threatened damage to keep them split, which is just, that's just so good. I'm gonna be honest, that was a great play there from Vacuuman. Maybe not ideal, but
he made it work.
Yeah,
and
he made it work. He enabled a team fight where his team just basically cleaned up 5 for 2.
Yeah, and now look at the gold difference. 2 towers down, they're actually up a couple hundred gold, which that couple hundred gold is negligible. The important part is that they're not behind in gold anymore.
We expect the Ethereal Chains popping down. Second set coming out. Will it be enough to kill him? Nope. Nowhere near. But that's okay. Just showing him who's boss, you know?
Yeah. I want to make note of Rammus. He's building into an Abyssal Mask right now. I really like that. With the team composition he has, the double AP threats means that this is going to allow Rammus to, one, increase his damage output quite a bit, which isn't that important. Increasing the damage output of a LeBlanc and Karthus. Oh.
Uh-oh, this has turned into a full-on fight here already. Timber Slice gonna almost get taken out. Devour from We Expect Me coming out. And Enchanted Crystal Arrow gonna...
Oh, the Blade Collar, watch out for it!
The Gray Health coming in huge. 4-man root would be great in any other situation, but now it's just kind of like meh. Oh, Killer Grub pretty low, able to take out Love Her. Cumwell also on the lower side. Scam Alert almost toast. Queenie does have ultimate. Will he go for it? I don't think so at this point. They started running away too much. Oh my god, top lane, Hamalex, buddy.
Yeah, great split push, but I hear Hamalex playing properly with that teleport, going for the split push instead of grouping with his team.
He's gonna get this tower, but it's gonna take his life, almost certainly.
Yeah,
Not
maybe he can
Dominus yet. He
whittle
might
out
just
of
be
here.
trying to save it.
Oh my!
Oh, he flashes on and gets the kill onto Cumwell, but gets taken out. That's still a brilliant trade. Now that top lane is exposed, so they can either go for Baron or they can just go for the top lane tower. I think they... Shouldn't they just go on Baron now? Oh, there's no smite. Okay. But there's Feast. Wait, yeah, go for Baron. Damn.
That would
have been a great time.
Yeah, that was a great play by Hamalex. Gets the tower and gets a kill out of it. He trades flashes with the Ashe, which is probably worth it. I mean, if it secures a kill when you otherwise are 100% dead, that is definitely worth it. And Vacuuman got really low too there. I think that, oh, he does have Seraphs up, so I think he would have been fine. But that was a really close fight, and Hamalex is so strong right now.
Yeah, this is one of those positions where it's just... Hamalex is playing his role very well, but within the constructs of the team, it's just not quite working out. He wants to play a split push, and they want him to deathball with them, but it's just not... Those two ideas inherently cannot mesh. And we're seeing a little bit of problem capitalizing on that split push. But still, what a great split push. Even with those execution problems. Timber Slice is huge. Good lord. I mean, not just in size, but in health, but also size. I love her. Gonna get the taunt down onto Timber Slice. Timber Slice getting taken out. Oh, Killer Grub, first one to fall here in this team fight. There's a lot of fighting going on. Timbro is going to try and dive deep, but he's not going to be able to. Vacuuming getting taken out on the front line. I love her soon to follow. It looks like Arcano Pulse going to come out from Queen, not quite hitting. I love her falling down as well. Scam Alert and Cumwell are the last ones for their team, but Queenie is the last damage dealer for Zoro's team here. Meteor, you're in trouble. Queenie not gonna be popped by Scam Alert. Oh, the flash coming out. The ethereal chain's gonna be enough to take him down. And Scam Alert and Cumwell are gonna be able to push by themselves pretty well here. They both have a lot of damage, but there's no minions, so they can't do anything. Never mind. Good fight though.
I mean, these fights are so sloppy. There's just back and forth action, people dying on both teams, but you are seeing Comwell sticking through these fights on this Ashe, and now Scamler is also living through. And so, you know, they're able to whittle away at those tanks over time and then just burst them down. And so the longer this game goes, you know, the more damage items they're going to have. And once they get their damage items, they're going to get that one safety item. You know, for the Ashe, it might be a QSS or a GA or something. For the LeBlanc, it might be a Zanya, something like that. It's going to make it a lot harder to kill those squishy targets. And they're going to have a lot of damage output as well. Those tanks, they're just going to get tankier. It's going to, maybe they'll die slightly slower, but if they can't kill those squishy targets, then they're just going to die eventually anyways. It might be 2 seconds later, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and one of the other things about these team fights is just Killer Grub's positioning leaves a lot to be desired. Especially in that last fight, he just flashed in and died. He tried to ultimate to save himself, but there's a certain point at which invulnerability is no longer helpful and it just kind of stalls out your death.
Yeah, Killer Grub did really well last game on the Tristana, but had the added safety of the rocket jump. This game on the Xayah, he does have the Featherstorm that does provide a couple of iframes for the Xayah, but that, you know, that's a long cooldown. Once that's on cooldown, it's donezo.
Never mind. That Rupture could have turned into a lot more with a Feral Scream, but deciding not to go for it, the safer option for sure. But poke damage onto LeBlanc would be really powerful right here. She would be able to heal up, but that does require a time investment. Ethereal Chain's going to land onto Timbro Slice. Little bit of rootage going down. Love her looking for a flank, not able to find it. They're just kind of A-ramming again, stalling for Vacuum, and I assume for Team Alureon, but...
Yeah, and with that open top lane inhib, you know, they might want to instead be grouping up for that and just kind of forcing that down. Or, you know, putting Hamlex in a side lane again where this Renekton can split push. Because Renekton's not an amazing team fighter. He's not horrible, but he's not going to be doing as much as this Karthus is in these team fights where Karthus will just shred the entire team. Oh,
flank coming out for my lover. Not going to continue flanking.
Powerballing away, just going, yeah, nope, I'm out.
Yeah, no, that was a bad idea. Sorry, as he rolls away.
Oh, wrong number.
New gank, who dis? Oh, they're finally going for Baron. Either baiting it or taking it or something.
Well, there's a pink ward on it, so they're going to have to clear that out first.
Okay, so this should turn into a bait. And hopefully they can do something with it, because they just really...
It's hard to bait when... Oh, maybe it's not.
No, the root's coming down. Double ethereal chains. Timbro Slice is going to be the first one to fall for his team, as well as on the other enemy team, Octoberry Cumwell following up in short order. We Spec Me trying to stay alive, barely living at this point, but gives him time to take out I Love Her. Killer Grub so low, but not low enough that
Scam
he's
alert,
dead.
though.
Meanwhile, Scam Alert says, shut up, Nibiria. Watch. And watch I did.
And I mean, that's so important because that means they don't have any ADC anymore. They can't do the Baron. The Dragon just spawning. Elder Dragon. They could have done one of those objectives potentially. It is a little risky with the Smite. But Cho'Gath is up sooner. They could have had some control. You know, made it so that Cho'Gath can get... Rammus is really fast. Never mind. I lied. But either way, if Scamler died there and Killer Grub was alive... That would have been 100% Baron, maybe Inhibitor, maybe an Inhib Tower, maybe the Drake on top of that. We can only speculate, but
a lot.
Scam Alert playing safe there and getting that kill was so crucial.
See, and this is just making me want to vocalize a thought I've been having all game, which is Hamalex, go top. His team, don't. As you've been saying a million times over, it's just so frustrating to watch because he, as we just saw in the mid lane, he successfully 1v1'd LeBlanc. He didn't kill her, but she did nothing to him, and he took out 3/4 of her health. He's so strong, and he's not getting to use any of that strength because they keep sticking him in these 5v5 engagements. Like you said, he's not the worst team fighter, but he's so much better utilized as a split pusher. I just don't know why they're not letting him do that or what the strategy is, and I don't think they're even thinking about it. I have to
Question it,
wonder
yeah.
if they've considered that strength versus weakness, because at this point it's just getting frustrating. He's so
Yeah.
strong. Now
They need it. They need to decide what objective they want to go for. Ideally, would be the Elder Drake because okay, he's out.
Turns out Cho'Gath has a really big hitbox, so you can devour him over walls.
You can devour a lot of people over thinner walls, and so the corner of a wall there, you can devour someone, especially someone as thick and luscious as Cho'Gath.
The luscious locks of Void Chitin.
Yeah. Oh, look at this Tom Kench engage.
Great engage from the two of them. Hamalex being teleported into the team. I love her getting the taunt onto Queenie. Queenie's still alive. I love her going back in as he tries to peel off Timber Slice and Hamalex from his backline. Successfully at first, but Hamalex gets on to Vacuumin. Vacuumin not going down. I love her first one to fall. And it looks like Hamalex is 1v3 in the backline, able to get one, but not both. His team, however, almost able to clean up. It's Scam Alert versus Timbro Slice. And
No!
me. Not enough tankiness. Scam Alert takes up one out. Will it be two? It looks like there's no way to avoid it. We expect me trying to get the Devour to stall time, but not going to be enough as Scam Alert secures the ace for his team.
Vacuumin just got a triple kill. A double kill coming out from that Requiem with a Q to get the third kill. Oh my gosh, that
This
was
is getting frustrating.
that
both
fight
sides.
looked horrible. And then, did we mention that Renekton is not a great team fighter compared to Karthus? Because
You know,
Karthus,
I think we did once or twice.
he just ran away with that fight. They even from this point where they're behind, where they're getting bad fights, where they're getting engaged on by a Tahm Kench in the middle of their team, dragging that Renekton right into the targets that he wants to get to. They still lost. Now you've got to be thinking, Hamalex has TP. What are we going to make use of this with?
Yeah.
It looks like they're sending him bot lane. I
Finally.
think personally, I'd like him top lane so they could play around the Elder Dragon because it does seem to be a better objective. It's harder to kill than the dragon or the Baron though, so there's merits to each of them. Baron's easier to secure, and it probably would be the safer objective. So, but they need to not be with him here in this bot side.
Yeah, and the
And
saddest
they
part
are
is
in the bot
Hamalex
side with him.
played that about as well as he could have. He got AoE damage onto the entire backline and got them all to like 20% by himself. But Vacuumin just did more with the AoE damage from Defile and just spamming Lay Waste as best he could. And then with Death Defied, able to spam as much as he wants continually. It's just there's no contest between which one of them will contribute more in a team fight. There's no way. We expect me gonna be caught here. That's not gonna look good. Octoberry looking for perhaps another binding. Not gonna land it because he didn't throw it. Oh, Timber Slice trying to get a side engage. Meanwhile, Killer Grub gonna get a great Feather Storm and response there. Cumwell chunking down Hamalex, but will it be enough to kill him? It looks like it's getting almost there. He gets the stun onto Cumwell. Cumwell is so low. I love her with a great taunt, but it's not going to be enough to kill. Death Defied. Requiem coming out, takes out Killer Grub, which is just such an unfortunate turn of events because I don't think they have enough damage to do this Elder Drake at this point. They have a lot of dragons, which means it'll be a huge boon to them if they're able to get it, but I'm worried for their health bars.
Yeah,
Looks
it
like they'll be
is
fine,
just
though.
a lone Comwell who is about one shot himself. So, I don't think anything's gonna come of that. You know what I really want to see here? Queenie flash this wall and look for the kill. Okay, it's not gonna happen.
No.
Flash this wall, look for the snipe on Comwell who's just chilling down in the bot lane. That would have been, ooh. It's not the right play, and it wouldn't work out. But if he went for it, I would have applauded him.
Well, I can't say this is a terrible play.
Yeah, no. Getting this Baron with the Elder Dragon now secured makes this a lot easier to take down. Zarya will be up in 2 seconds, which means that she will get this buff as well, as long as it is not stolen by some miraculous way.
Up. They do have the ward onto it, but not going to be enough to prevent the take. They're all backing. Hopefully none of them get stopped by Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Oh my goodness. That
Gracious.
was rough. That was so close to a... Well, it wouldn't have been a game-winning pick anymore because they have Elder and Baron, but boy, howdy,
it would have slowed down the tempo a lot, though. I mean, imagine the Xerath, the main user of this Elder Dragon, right? Who can apply that Elder Dragon from massive ranges, destroying health bars, dead. He doesn't have that buff anymore. His team has to wait for him to respawn. That is actually huge. Not game-winning pick, but game-changing pick. It's
almost
heavily
as if been complaining so hard that they started listening, because look at the map position here for Team Meteor.
Yeah, finally deciding to put Hamalex in a split push position, which is very good. And this allows them to just siege in. Queenie on the Xerath, who did not die, is going to be able to lay down massive damage with that Elder Dragon burn.
Jeez, Vacuumin, you're getting a little low there, buddy. Redemption going to heal him up a little bit. Cumwell trying to get the slow down onto Hamalex. Going to be able to get it. Dominus pop. Will Hamalex be able to get the kill? No, he gets taken out. Enchanted Crystal Arrow was blown, however. No heal on Cumwell either. Can they take this fight in the bot lane? It doesn't look like they're going to try. Taunt landing onto Killer Grub. Octoberry pretty low there. As is, I love her. Killer Grub is kiting out this fight fantastically. Octoberry getting low, getting taken down. Cumwell going to fall next. And it's a double onto Vacuumin and Cumwell. And this could be game at this point, tying up the series.
Yeah. That's the game.
100%
Great.
Elder Drake, Baron.
That was a great turnaround. Alureon thought that they were going to win that because Hamalex was dead. But they went in too early before they were able to regroup as 5.
Mm-hmm. It's important, even when you have a lead, to get into the right position for these team fights, but it looks like Team Meteor is gonna take the game here. 19 seconds of the lowest person, a little bit of BM stalling, BM Featherstorm. I like it. A little bit of sass to end the game and end the series. 1-1 tied up.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning that I believe this was a bit of a uneven show match, as in we had a gold team versus a silver team, and Team Meteor were the underdogs heading into this. They were the underdogs heading into game 2 because they were down a game in the series, and they looked really rough in that first game, but they were able to adapt. They were able to focus up in that drafted very well, and play to their win conditions. And I gotta say, Hamalex on that Renekton performed really well, had some misplays, had some hiccups, but showed up big and brought them into that late game where they were able to win.
And I think it's important to recognize that it was a team effort eventually. Hamalex did do a lot of the heavy lifting, but without Queenie's poke, without Killer Grub's, I would like to say actually that last team fight, Killer Grub played really well. Like, that was pretty fantastic. So there was a lot of eventual teamwork coming out with some good ults from We Spec Me for the map mobility, as we saw up to the Baron. They just started working together and meshing together as a team, and that allowed them to take the victory over Team Alureon in this second game of the series. So that'll end it up for us tonight. And we want to thank you all for coming out, and we'll go down the time-honored tradition from Learning Fives. Do you know what it is, Meowing Cat?
What is it, Niberia?
It's the plugs. You know, have you ever thought that you want to see more of this action? Well, you could be lazy and also really, really cool and hit the follow button on the Twitch channel. But if you don't think that's enough, if you think, man, this program is amazing, I want to support these players, I want to support this amazing production team, thank you for the compliment. I want to support everyone who puts in their time and effort. Well, you can follow us on Twitter. It's not really support, but it shows us you care. It's kind of nice. But if you want to get in on the action, you can also join our Discord. And you may be wondering, Niberia, first of all, shut up. But second of all, where can we find all of this information? You'll be happy to know that you can find it in the Twitch description below. So from myself, and hopefully from Meowing Cat, have a wonderful rest of the weekend. We will see you tomorrow with another show match at 9 p.m. EST. Oh, and we even have an EU show match as well at 3 p.m. Sorry, EU. Time zone, jet lag. Yeah. It's a wonderful night. I hope you all enjoy the rest of it. Meow and Cat, any parting words?
Holy Renekton.
Nice. Holy Renekton indeed. Have a wonderful rest of the night. Goodbye.
Now